Welcome, everyone. Today, I want to discuss free will. What is free will? Free will is here I am. Uh, I want to lift this paper. I want to do this, or I want to tap tap the table. It's my free will. That's something that I decide to do. It's my will. It's free, and I could do whatever I want to do, or whatever I do can be predicted. Is can some scientists predict what I'm going to do next? Uh, do I really have free will, or everything else is programmed, pre-programmed? So whatever I do is looks like I'm doing and my free will, but it's really not. So that is the view held by some physicists, and they have some trouble, and I would explain what their problem is. And some popularizers of physics like Brian Greene, they're more vocal, and their point is this. So the Big Bang is everybody agreed happened today, or almost all physicists. So when the Big Bang happened, there was energy, and eventually the protons, electrons, everything came up. And we have equations for these particles. Protons, we have four sets of forces. There is the gravity, there is electromagnetic force, and then two nuclear forces. We have equations for all these. So let's say there's a particle, here. We could use all these forces that we know of, and we could tell where it's going to go next. So when the Big Bang happened, if we theoretically, we could tell what's going to happen to each and every particle over time. And you could, track the path of a particle. We could say it's going to go here, 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 and this particle is going to go here, here, here. And the person named Ruan is going to be formed, and he's going to be doing this, this, this. We can tell all the where the particles are using our equations. Theoretically, of course, we cannot do that, practical problems, but theoretically speaking, we can do that. So if that is the case, if everything is predetermined at the Big Bang, 10 to the power 80 protons were created, and theoretically we could tell where each proton would be going. And same thing with electrons, same thing with every other particle. So we have equations. So if this set of particles here going to be going here and here, 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 and we know exactly where they're going after 13.8 billion years later, and we could theoretically tell what's going to happen in next second, because all the equations we know. Like if I throw a ball, I could tell with the velocity, if I know the velocity, how far it would go up. So it's predetermined. As soon as I throw the ball, I know how high it's going to go. It's predetermined. So is that the same thing happening with human mind? That whatever we do, that we think that, okay, I decide to drop the pen. Is that my free will, or it was decided at Big Bang that's what's going to happen? So Brian Greene, was listening to him, and that's what he's saying. But he himself says there's a problem with this theory. So we have these equations, we have these particles. We know we have equations for these particles. We know where each particle is going to go next. So we could tell every time where each particle would be. But there's a problem here. The problem is, except gravity, all the other three forces are quantum. Quantum means we cannot tell exactly where something is going. If we have an electron here, let's say in my back, we cannot tell exactly where it's going to go in next second. But we can tell with probability it's going to go here, it's going to be here or here. There's a 50% chance it's going to be here, another 50% chance it's going to be there. That's our theories. So basically, Schrodinger, said that, if you have a cat in a box and radioactive material, we can't really tell whether the cat is dead or alive until we open the box. So there is a probability to it. We can tell with some probability that electron is going to go to point A or point B. We cannot tell definitively. So let's go back to Big Bang now. So the Big Bang happened, all these particles popped up. We cannot tell exactly what they are going to go, where they're going to go in next second. We could tell it's going to go here, 50% chance. It's here, another 50% chance. And all the particles are like that. So if we cannot tell exactly, how could it be deterministic? That's the problem that people with that view have. How could it be predetermined? But then the answer is maybe there's something that we don't know that, but all the experiments show that, there's an experiment called Bell's experiment. And everything shows that there is no deterministic way that you could tell what. It's all probabilistic. That's what the science is. Bell equation has, that's where Einstein got very confused. And he says, God does not play dice. Something is wrong here. That's Einstein's quote. God, but as of now, 2024, there is no way we could predict. There is no equation, and it is probabilistic. So this is a problem that physicists have. So then Neil deGrasse Tyson is saying that since it is probabilistic, we have the free will to say what's going to happen next. So we decide. So in other words, if you have an electron here, there's a 50% chance of going here, or another 50% chance of going there. So then we decide whether it's going here or going there. So there is free will. He lost me on that argument. How the hell I decide where the electrons in my brain are going to go? I cannot decide that. I have no control over the electrons in my brain. That seems to be an absurd argument. So I'm not gonna go over that. And this doesn't jive any physics to me. Okay, so now some neuroscientists, in this case, this lady, what she was saying that you could scan your brain and people would be told to pick up that apple or just keep an apple in front. And the brain scanning would happen, the apple is there. And just before I pick up the apple, they can predict by looking at the brain scans and brain blood flow and electromagnetic forces in there that, he's going to pick up that apple. Because, certain waves would be forming and they could say that, he's, before I even make any move. So it's deterministic, according to her. And but that deterministic is different than what the physicists are saying. This is like, there is no connection. I don't see it. So you are measuring your brain, the waves, and then there is this pen, and you would be told, pick up that pen. And before I pick up that pen, you could tell that, looking at the waves, that he's going to pick up the pen, or he's not going to pick up the pen. So it's predeterministic. But it's not really what physicists are saying. So I don't really see a connection here. This is like, it's like saying there is wind is flowing, there is moisture in there, it's going to rain. That kind of thing. There are certain waveforms going to form before we do something in the brain, and then you look at the waveforms and you could predict what he's or she is going to do. It's good, but that's not what the physicists are saying. It's physicists are going into atoms and particles, but they have a problem with quantum physics, which is probabilistic. And now the last question is, what would Buddha would say? To have free will, you need to have a person. I mean, without me, if I'm dead, I would not have a free will because I'm not there. I'm dead. I'm gone. Here's somebody here. He has free will, but there has to be somebody here. But right now, only me here, so there's nobody here to have any free will. In this room, there's only one person, and that's me who would have free will. So there has to be a person to have free will. Now, according to Buddhism, Theravada, that there is no such thing as a person. It's called anatta. There is no person. And there was a group of people who said that there is a person, and they're called Puggalavadin, but they don't exist anymore. There's no such sect today. So if there is no person and there should not be any free will, then how would we make actions happen? So according to Buddha, it would be 5 different things that comes together. That would be the body, the feelings, the mental imagery, the consciousness, etc. There are five skandhas, they call it. And they come together and they act together, and then action would happen. So it looks like deterministic to me. And then there was the Abhidharma, where you would have certain phenomena, dhammata or dhamma, certain dhamma, let's call events or phenomena, would give rise to another set of dhamma. And that set of dhamma would give rise to another set. So at any given time, there are events or phenomena or dhamma, and they would give rise to the next set. So it looks like deterministic to me. But then there is another group called Sarvastivadi. And they believe that whatever the Dhamma today, whatever the events or phenomena today, affect not only the future ones, they would affect the past ones. So whatever happening today is going to affect future and also the past. And that's what the Sarvastivadin said, that at any given time, you would have all 3 Dhamma, the Dhamma, phenomena from the past, phenomena from now, and phenomena from future, all together. Sarvasti, meaning everything, all together. Interestingly, latest quantum physics support that theory, that events today not going to impact the events in the future, but they impact events of the past. That's quantum mechanics of 21st century. Now, how would that impact the free will? Interesting. No answers. Maybe future we'll find answers. But as of now, there are no answers. Thank you very much for listening.